I, 39 male, have a son 18 with my late wife. She died of cancer when he was 5 and I didn't cope well with losing her. I spiraled into a deep depression and am still struggling with my mental health occasionally. Back then, the only reason I kept going was that I had a child to take care of. I made him see a therapist to process the loss, and he always seemed to be doing fine afterward. My girlfriend, 26, has 3 kids, a tween female, a younger tween male, and a younger male child from her previous relationship. I met her 3 years ago while we were both having a rough time. Our first few meetings were accidental, then we started talking, and eventually she asked me to get drinks. We didn't start dating until a few months after that. I didn't immediately introduce her to my son as I wanted to ensure we wouldn't break up after a month. When they finally met, they got along well enough. When the global issue got worse, my girlfriend lost her job, and I offered to let her and the kids move in, as my house was more than big enough. I talked to my son beforehand, and he said he didn't care as long as he didn't have to share his room. That was 2 years ago, and we've been doing pretty well since then. Her kids are all very well behaved and warmed up to my son and me quickly. Lately, my son has started spending most of the time in his room, not even joining us for dinner. Sometimes my son and I would go on little trips over the weekend, just the 2 of us, but he had declined the past few times I asked him. He always brushed me off when I tried talking to him about it, saying he just had to study. I chalked it up to stress as he has finals next month and will have to apply to college soon. 2 weeks ago, we found out that my girlfriend is pregnant. We didn't plan on telling the kids so early, but her daughter overheard us talking a few days ago, so we decided to tell them all yesterday. The younger ones were all really excited, but my son stayed quiet, looking angry. When I asked him what he thought, he blew up at me. He started yelling about how much he hated my girlfriend and me, calling her a gold digger and a prostitute, and insulting her children while they were all still in the room. I've never raised my voice at my son, but I just snapped. I yelled back at him and told him to get out of my house and come back when he was ready to apologize for what he'd said. About an hour after he'd left, I got a call from my sister-in-law yelling at me about how I abandoned my son and replaced my wife with a prostitute, and how the child probably wasn't even mine anyway. I hung up on her and texted my son that I wanted to talk to him, but I'm currently blocked. My girlfriend thinks I might have been a little harsh, but ultimately did the right thing and that he will come around again. I just hope I haven't ruined my relationship with my son. Should I apologize to him and beg him to come back and try to work this out, or should I stand my ground on this one? Edit, my girlfriend was no longer working as a dancer at a club when we met. My son was never supposed to find out about it, but my wife's sister kept digging around and tried breaking us up by telling me, and when that didn't work, she told my son. So he and I discussed that, in which he said he didn't care about it and also promised not to gossip to his friends. So you, as a man in your late 30s, got with a 23-year-old with 3 kids and moved her in, and you're surprised that your son is struggling with the change and kicked him out? You are the idiot for multiple reasons. If both son and sister-in-law think girlfriend is cheating, don't you think there's a reason? Don't start doing too much math, because you'll notice that by the time girlfriend had the 3rd kid, she was basically OP's son's age, and now girlfriend is knocked up again. His girlfriend is 8 years older than his son. Dad is 13 years older than his girlfriend. How ridiculous to expect the son to respect that relationship. Sorry, Dad, like you, your son still has issues after his mother died, and you're crapping all over him when you should be supporting him. Yeah, there's no way I can spin this where OP isn't the idiot. OP, your son actually has your best interest at heart, but you're blinded by love. Lust. You evicted your 18-year-old son with no notice because the son was rude to your girlfriend. You kicked him out into the world with no plan, seemingly no source of income, and no time to make any arrangements. Your own child. He's right. You are blind and replacing him. LOL, he's clearly prioritizing his 26-year-old girlfriend over his son here. OP's girlfriend was 23 when she asked out a 36-year-old widower with a child only 8 years younger than herself. Miraculously gets pregnant with child number 4, then tells him kicking out his son was the right move, which just so happens to leave her kids and future kids as the house's sole dependents. I think she was called a gold digger because she is a gold digger. This is actual Disney-level evil stepmom type stuff. So I have a daughter, Carmen, tween, with my ex Lisa and a son, stepson actually, Luke, 18, with my wife Sadie. I broke up with Lisa when my daughter was born because she was having affairs behind my back. Luke's father has been absent from his life and I've taken care of him since he was 10. Carmen's very into ballet, and her club holds mini recitals once a month and a big recital once a year. Luke's very into theatre, and his club does 4 plays a year. I've been to almost all of their events. This month, however, the mini recital and the play came on the same day in a way that was impossible for me to go to both. In the end, after a lot of thinking, I decided to go to Luke's for the following reasons. It's Luke's last play since he's going to college, and he had the lead role. I didn't promise either of them that I would be at their thing, by the way. I let them know the day before because I'm in the medical sector and usually get called in for emergencies or other reasons. I told Carmen I wouldn't be able to come to the recital and explained to her why, and she was really understanding. I do have to buy her ice cream though. My ex-brother-in-law was going in my place, so I asked him for a recording so I could watch it with Carmen when it was my custody time. After the play was done, my ex called me and told me I was an idiot for skipping my daughter's event for someone else's kid. She got my mom into this, and she's telling me the same thing. I don't think what I did was wrong, but just to make sure, am I the idiot for missing my daughter's ballet recital to go see my son's play? Not the idiot. I think your reasons are fair, and you even told your daughter, you're claiming she was alright with it, and you just have to buy her ice cream to make up for it. You even asked your ex-brother-in-law to record it, so it wasn't like you didn't want to see her ballet recital. Oddly, the adult, your ex, is angrier than the child. It was petty of Lisa to bring your mom into this. Ignore those two. Yeah, if the kid is happy, what are the adults complaining about? It's not like OP can be in 2 places at once unless he would more often favour one kid over the other, which he says he doesn't, but I don't see an issue. Also, ice cream is a good bribe. OP's cheating ex is just trying to cause drama where there is none. It's like a specialty shared by all idiot exes all across the planet. Ignore the ex. If it wasn't this, they'd probably just be complaining and blaming you about something else. Treat her as the hot air that she is. Focus only on your daughter and your son. Oh, and discuss with your mom about butting into what is none of her business. Why is she listening to your cheating ex about anything? And why doesn't she appear to see your son as one of her grandkids? I'm male 26, dating Evelyn, female 23. We've been together for 3 months and we've known each other for 5 months in total. We used to go out a lot together. Neither of us has kids or someone to look after, so after work we're free. I have a better job than her, she makes a bit above minimum wage. After the first few dates on which we shared the bill, I started paying for dinner and entertainment when we went out. I don't mind it, I know she struggles with money sometimes. However, this week my brother asked me to loan him some money because his car broke down and he gets paid monthly. He'll give me the money back when he gets paid. As I get paid every 2 weeks, I had some extra money so I lent it to him. I'm doing good on money until I get paid again. However, now I don't have lots of money to spend on dates for now. My girlfriend knows about this. My girlfriend invited me to see a movie and then have dinner. I paid for the movie tickets and snacks. After the movie, my girlfriend picked a restaurant, we had dinner there. When the bill came, I asked her to pay because I'd already spent my money on the movie and I didn't have enough to pay for dinner too. She did, but she was upset. When we got into my car, she asked what had happened and why I couldn't pay. I told her about my brother's car again. She said that she'd forgotten about it, then she said she struggles with money and I shouldn't have let her pick an expensive restaurant if I wanted her to pay. I dropped her at her house and she hasn't been answering my texts since. I know that her money budget is tight, maybe I should have told her before the fact not to blindside her. Not the idiot, it would have been nice on your part to discuss before the date what bits you could pay for. That said, you have been paying for entire dates several times, so it should be okay for her to pay for part of the date once. From your story, it came across as though she sees your money as free money to indulge in. When I go out, even if the other person is paying, I make choices based on what I would be comfortable paying. I wouldn't treat the other person like their money was a stolen credit card. I'd say bullet dodged. Avoid this person. Those are my thoughts exactly, minus the fact girlfriend already knew OP lent brother money and it was tight. Girlfriend invited OP to movie and dinner, so by my deductions it's her treat, especially considering my above statement. If OP is the only one paying for dates and his girlfriend gets mad that she must pick up some of the tabs for once, I hope OP knows that he's an ATM by now. Oh, she invited herself to a nice free evening and an expensive restaurant. That's the part that got me. She had pre-spent his money and it backfired when she had to pick up the tab for dinner, and now she won't respond to his texts. Wow, splurging on someone else's dime is classless. This girl will be very expensive and not care or remember your issues. Probably best to stop, drop, and run right now. This is a vision of your future. People like this don't change. I, nearly adult male, am graduating high school in little over a month. Our school for the past 3 years has done a digital book where there's a photo of the graduates, our names and the names of our parents and siblings if you have any. I submitted my form a couple of weeks ago. I listed my mom as my mother and my dad as my father. My mom died when I was 5 and my dad married my stepmom when I was 8. My dad wanted to change the mother's name to my stepmom's name when he got sent an advance copy, something all parents can sign up to get. I told him I didn't want it changed. My mom's name should be on there, not my stepmom's. He told me she'd be hurt if she didn't get named, but Mom does, since she's been with me throughout most of my school life, and that it would be a small thing enlisting someone who is actually here to know. He said everyone knows I love my mom, but I can and should love my stepmom too, and show this kind of appreciation for all that she's done for me. He said he didn't say anything about me not naming my step-siblings, but a line must be drawn about my stepmom. I told him he's not allowed to change it and that is final, and if he does, I will speak to the teacher in charge of putting the graduation book together. Dad told me I was being unreasonable and hurting someone for no reason at all. I know my stepmom would want to be in the book and will be hurt by this, but I will hate her being named my mother because, to me, she is not, and I don't want her to be my mother. She's my stepmom and that's enough. Dad told me I was very close to being grounded for speaking to him the way I did and not considering other people's feelings. Am I the idiot? Of course, you choose your mom over your stepmom for your school's graduation book. Your father seems to be extremely insecure and controlling. He has no right to force this onto you and punish you for talking back, and rightfully so. He's the idiot by far, not you. It's also hypocritical of the father to want to punish OP for not being considerate of other people's feelings, while refusing to be considerate of OP's feelings. If your father wants to list his new wife in the digital version of his high school yearbook, that is his choice. He can't dictate who you list in your high school yearbook. If your stepmom is bothered by saying you put your mom in your yearbook, that is your stepmom's problem. Spot on. It always bugs me when this is the argument. OP, talk to the teacher. Your dad is going to try to change it. He's threatening you with punishment for disagreeing and calling it disrespectful. Honoring your mother is right, but your school's traditions are whack. At this point, most American students have alternative family structures. So how does your school have no way to honor them? The school sucks. This is so unfair for anyone dealing with death, divorce, remarriage, guardianship situations, foster care, same-gender marriage, if you have 2 dads or 2 moms, who gets listed where? Or adoption, or any other situation beyond married straight parents with X amount of kids. I am certain that OP is far from the only student facing tensions regarding the stupid book. I, 51 male, have been married to my wife Diana, 49, for 25 years, and we have 3 kids, Johnny, 24 male, Sally, 22 female, and Hank, nearly adult male. Sally has decided to drop out of college with 1 year left. Both Diana and I were shocked when she told us that she's been obsessed with her field of study, biology and ecology, since she was 12. We asked her why, and she said that she and her friend would start an online business, and that she doesn't feel that she needs the degree anymore. I will admit that I was angry since I paid for most of her college, and she only had 1 year left. If she were a first or second year, I would have understood, but the finish line is literally just around the corner for her. She asked if I would give her the last tuition payment as an investment. Important to note here is that my wife and I have been putting aside money for college for our kids since we decided to have them, and made sure they knew that we'd help them pay their way through college. I told her flat out no, that money was for college, and that's what the agreement was for when she got into college. I do not support this decision, and I will not let her throw away the past 3 years for something like this. My wife agrees with me on this and has been trying to persuade Sally to change her mind for the past few weeks. Sally thinks we're being unfair and reneging on our promise, and we're idiots for not supporting her. Are we? Heck no, you're not giving her money for an investment. She wants to start up some business, she raises the capital. Simple as that, not the idiot. Oh, and Sally thinks that we're being unfair and that we're reneging on our promise. What promise? I don't see a promise. There may have been an implied promise to put her through college, but she's decided to forego that. Therefore, the money reverts back to you. The nerve of this girl. If it's an investment, he should get equity. Opie, how much equity are you getting in the company? I wonder if Sally even knows what equity means. That would say a lot about how much she knows about realistically setting up a business. Someone is feeding her terrible information about how life works. I bet $1,000 this drop out and get the tuition money is 100% the friend idea or MLM scam. She's being manipulated and will regret it soon. I was thinking the same. Sounds like the friend roped Opie's daughter into being her downline. That is your money, not hers. You saved it to be used for a purpose, for her education. It's not her money and you would be throwing it away if she used it the way she wanted to. She is making an incredibly foolish decision. College is a historically safe investment for a better life.